CSE podcast show. We're here every Thursday, 10 a.m. Central Time. And we have Randy with us today, Keith, and John, and Marcus, the engineer, and myself. I'm down in Puerto Rico, and Randy's up in Georgia. Keith's up in Connecticut. Keith? You in Connecticut?
Maryland,
I'm sorry. And then John's up in Chicago, Chicago. And if you want to send us an email, I doubt we would get to visit to it this today, but we will next Thursday. Podcast, compoundstockearnings.com. Podcast, compoundstockearnings.com. And we will address your email and discuss it. You can call in. If you want to call today, it's 214-377-1108. 214-377-1108. Call in and talk about any of these folks or to me or whoever you want to talk to, and tell us how you're doing if you have any questions. Once you go to our website, compoundstockearnings.com, compoundstockearnings.com, check out, it tells you all about the company. It shows you all our tools that we use. We're not speculative-based technique. We are rule-based technique, and we have definitive rules, real simple rules that hopefully are going to produce cash flow every month. You're going to compound that cash flow. You can also sign up for free for our cow report, which comes out every Friday and has for the last 20 years. And it's free. You can sign up for that on the website, compoundstockearnings.com. You can review and see you can check out some cow reports. When you get the cow report, you can see all these emails. Usually there's 80 pages in the cow report. You got a lot of emails, all these folks here, and they answer questions. They explain things and explain how they make the returns they do. And they're all making returns with real money. And there's services that you can subscribe to. You get them live as they do something, not before they do it, but as they do it. You know what they're getting ready to do, and they say, we're doing it now. And you can do the same trade and make the same kind of returns. And these guys got some great returns they're going to talk about today they've made in the last few days. So again, go to our site, compoundstockearnings.com, and sign up for the cow report. It's totally free. And you can also sign up for other stuff on there and get a feel for how these techniques work. But it's important to get that cow report because you see all the people that are clients. Some of them have been with our clients for almost 20 years. And they write in to how they're doing. They ask questions because things change. Over the years, this whole process has evolved over the last 20 years to just something that was very, very almost prehistoric when we first started doing it with the internet. Most of our folks had dial-ups, and they didn't get executions real fast, and we spent endless hours helping people straighten up positions because they would sell something and then do something else, hit the button twice or something like that before it executed, and just got generally messed up. We don't have any of that now. This stuff, these trading platforms, the cost on them, the commissions have gone to almost nothing, to nothing. There are a lot of firms now, even the big Wall Street firms, Merrill Lynch, and a lot of them have zero commissions. So you never should be concerned about commissions. And the trading platforms are incredible. They're efficient. And I don't know if anybody still has dial-up. I'm sure that somebody has dial-up. But even if you didn't have cable, then they're still going to be much better, even on dial-up. Some really, really great tools you have now. The charting. We have our own charting with Compound Stock Earnings. We spend fortunes on to tell you exactly when to get in and get out of things. And you can subscribe to those. They don't cost a lot of money, and they sure help you do things. So let's see Randy. Randy's over in Atlanta today, and Randy probably has pretty moderate weather over there. I know it's, and I think it's in the 40s in Fort Worth. Of course, it's in the 80s here. Randy, hear that? Randy, it's in the 80s here.
No, but I'm still in Arizona, and it was 89 yesterday. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You must have been in Atlanta and gone back to Arizona, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I was out there and back, and I'm going to go out there in another couple of weeks. Our grandson, my son and his family live out there. That has two of our granddaughters and grandson. So we go back and forth, Phoenix.
Do they live pretty close to your existing places out there?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, about 15-minute drive on nice, pretty tree-lined roads.
Why don't you tell the folks that what's gone on this week?
Well, this week has been a good week. The market, and as John will probably talk about, the market just is all over the place. You never know when it's going to go up, when it's go down. You'll always see all of us that are, as we're on the camera, and we're hardly ever looking like forward because we're always looking at our charts. Since we're doing the podcast live in the market, and we send out alerts live in the market as we're getting ready to do them, and that comes along with our platinum services where we manage our own portfolio live positions in the market, and when we find a position that we're getting ready to do, and we send it out as an alert that goes over your smartphone, it goes over email, that lets you know this is what we're doing and how we're using the different techniques that we teach. And so everybody can follow along real time live. And so we're always looking at what the market's doing, if there's a position that we want to get in or get out of. And that's why we're not always just looking straight ahead. But been a good week. Already been in and out of SPY with the covered call for a 6% return already for 2 days, and got another one for tomorrow that should produce about another 6% return, even as the market's going up and down. And that's one thing about a covered call. The way the compound stock earnings technique is, it's an in the money covered call. So the market can even go down and it still can get called out and maintain the profit, and doesn't have to go up. And so those are going well. And then in addition to that, we have the advanced charting platinum service. And Joe, you talked about advanced charting. That's a proprietary charting package from Compound Stock Earnings that gives a boatload of information of about 21 indicators that are all rolled into one easy to learn to read charting system. And with that, we can do momentum trading, which is a slower version of what John does, as he'll talk about. He does things in a blink of an eye, and the momentum trade is more of a day or two long, where we read the charts, and when we see the beginning of a new cycle, we enter a position and then close it out as that cycle continues. Yeah, Joe said, look at that nice palm tree swaying ocean view out there, probably 85 degrees. You're
82.
82. You're really rubbing it into all those people up there in the north that are under 2 feet of snow.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the beauties of the compound stock earnings techniques is you can do them anywhere. Joe's out there in Puerto Rico, Maryland, Chicago, Arizona. When I'm in Atlanta, all you have to have is the internet and a computer. I've even traded on the beach, sitting on a chaise lounge under a tree on the beach in St. Thomas. I did that for a week when my son was down there getting married. So as long as you can get the internet, you can do the trades. And with the alerts where you can follow along with positions, it makes it even that much better.
The other thing, Randy, even with your iPhones now, the programs for the iPhones have gotten so fantastic. The online services, trading services, brokerage services, that even the charts are great. You can trade, you can do virtually anything on your iPhone or your smartphone that you can do with a regular laptop or a regular big computer screen. And it's just amazing what you can do that you used to couldn't do. You used to couldn't do that. You can do it now. So like you say, you can do it. You can do it. While your self-driving car is.
That's right. Yeah. Just think of how much the trading is going to increase when those self-driving cars hit out there, because people will be trading instead of looking where they're going and driving.
Right. That's right.
But yeah, with the smartphones, you don't even have to have internet coverage. You just have to have cell phone coverage. So that's pretty much just about anywhere in the world.
Now, let me tell you, folks, listen, Randy's been doing this 12, 13, 14 years with us. And he has the most variety of trades, from regular covered call we've been doing forever to more sophisticated ones that he's specifically developed. And but they're all essentially covered calls. He has some that click out, get out within an hour or two, and where our micro moments, we try to do that within a few minutes to an hour. But when he was saying, look, he did 6% yesterday on this, or 6% on this, remember, all we're trying to make in any of these techniques is 1% a month net. Because if you make 1% a month and you start off with $1,000, you never add a penny to it. And you can, if you were getting 6% a week, my goodness, But if you just had $1,000, you never added anything to it, and made 1% a week, you know, in 10 years you made 190-something thousand bucks. In 15 years you made 2.5 million, and not 19, 15 years. In 20 years you made $30 million or something like that. Just incredible amounts of money. And these are the perfect techniques. If you have a kid that's graduating high school, give them $1,000, pay for the course, have them learn this stuff. They're smart, they're computer literate, and they can do this, and then you don't have to worry about it. They can go to college, they can pay for it. So if you have to pay for it, they don't have to borrow any money. And they don't have to sleep in your basement because they have a source of income. For $1,000, you know, it's like going to trade school. You know, learning our technique, take one of our seminars is like going to trade school. You know, all the good professions use trade schools. Plumbers, doctors do nothing but go to trade school. Their trade school is how to fix people. Plumbers, how to, you know, do plumbing. Welders, how to do welding. They make the most money. And so CSE is like a trade school. And today, more and more and more, you hear trade schools, you know, the government, everybody, industry, begging for trade schools. Get these things back, because these kids are going to make a lot of money. They're not going to be burdened with debt for the rest of their life, so they'll have a life. And then if they don't have to be a plumber, they'll end up owning a plumbing company. But the welder end up owning the welder. Like, you know, not too many of the doctors will end up owning the practice because they don't make that much money anymore. But, you know, the whole point is instead of wasting time on an English, you know, literature degree, you know, who cares about that crap? You know, get them out there and do something that they'll do something. They don't have to do it the rest of their life. They won't need to. But just think of the money that, and if Randy gave his totals, you know, for the year, and you said, okay, uncompounded, what the returns would be. If 1% a week is going to be 52% a year, uncompounded. Compounding, it's huge. It's absolutely huge amount of money. Same thing with Keith and with the micro moment stuff that John does. So and you can get the returns. Keith, he's been with us many years, and when he right before he came with CSE, he did a seminar for us, and he wanted to make a 900% return. He was doing, I think he was doing more traditional covered calls. Now he's a little more sophisticated than those. And he ended up with around $900. So he won 1,000 actually, but he screwed up the last week or so, and he only made 900 something. And we showed those actual trading pages, his account, every one of them at the seminar. So they were real stuff, and nobody does that. Nobody does it. So, isn't that a great introduction, Keith?
It is fantastic.
I've seen a couple of emails that you got so far from clients, and that your clients are just like, well, I made 22% this week or something like that.
Yeah, that was last week. Yep, they did really fantastic last week. I opened actually 3 of the new CSM trades last week. One of them was good, and 2 of them didn't work out so well. But you know, the long term, like you said, the returns in the long term are really good. So we're watching the charts to try to pick new ones, and the charts I use are the CSE, the credit spread momentum charts, and they're not quite resetting yet. Just with this volatility in the market here in the last week, we're waiting for those to reset. But as Randy said, I'm sitting there. I may not be looking at you, but I'm looking at the chart, sitting here going through trying to find something here, and none of them are quite ready yet. And few of them I was considering on Tuesday that I talk about on the webinar, and I go through all the charts on the webinar and go through and say what I like, what I don't, and why I like it, why I don't. And there were 3 of them that we were looking at potentials on Tuesday, and all 3 of them would have been disaster if I'd opened them. So patience is key for picking the right time to open these trades. And
Keith,
yes, sir.
If you go through the charts that much, how long has it been that you've not had a life?
I'm sorry, you missed the last part.
Since you go through the charts so much, how long has it been that you have not had a life?
Well, yeah. You know, you sit there and you drive down the highway. A lot of people see lines and telephone wires and everything. I say, hey, that looks like a pattern I could trade, you know?
There you go. Look up there and see the clouds, you know?
Yeah. But I do like the new CSM charts with the new vendor. I think they've done a fantastic job on these charts and really make it easier to try to do these trading. And like you said, I think you got a couple of clients that have reported that they've done. I think the week before was like 36% and 22% last week. So
if they do that, if they do that, well, they can quit, because what fun, what anything they could get into where they could make 20 or 30% a year trading and speculating and taking risk all year, winning, losing, and make 35, 25, 35. Yeah. It ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Yep.
It's incredible. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for that report. And turn to John. John finally got his official John at Compound Stock Earnings email. So if out there listening, if you want to communicate with John at compoundstockearnings.com. And it's better than his old email. He still has his old email, but use that one, and he'll be able to get back to you quicker, and we'll be able to get the results in the Cal report and all that kind of stuff. So, John, what did you do today? I know you didn't do a damn thing.
That's right. Yeah. I was just basking in the shortest front end of an email at Compound Stock Earnings with 3 letters.
Well, what happened, John, your picture disappeared, and Marcus, yours on there. Did you do something, Marcus?
No, I'm back, aren't I? Whoops, I guess I'm not. There it is. Huh. Let me,
come back, John.
How's that? Am I back now?
No, you're not there. You just there you are. That's good. Yeah.
I had to click on myself. Holy cow.
Yeah. There you go.
No, we were watching Apple for a put this morning, and boy, as soon as somebody mentioned Brexit, it went really south while we were in the break between that webinar and this podcast. Apple was down over $2 for a little while, so I hope someone was able to get into that. I wasn't. My deposit had not cleared. I needed some money to give to the Cook County treasurer last week, and my deposit hadn't cleared yet. So anyway, we're back in. We'll be able to trade tomorrow, and everything will be fine again. But you were talking about the telephone poles, Keith. I was thinking about that driving back and forth to Fort Campbell last week to see our son be promoted to first sergeant, and I was pointing out all these hawks to my wife, who had her head down on the iPad. I was thinking, boy, in just another year or so, we're going to be looking at the 5G towers. They're going to be putting those transmitters up on top of just 20-foot telephone poles, and that might be something to invest in. We'll have to see how that goes. But they're going to be putting those things about every 120 feet, I guess. And it should be a chance to make some money for someone. We'll have to look into that. But getting back to our webinar, we're trying to do the Apple thing, and in fact, just yesterday, the president had a council meeting in the office there, and Tim Cook was sitting off to his right, and several governors, and they were all talking about the trade schools and education and things like that, and not necessarily formal college, but trade schools that could get people to work right away and cut down on student loans. So that's an excellent point. Everybody was lauding the committee there and Ivanka and all that for that. So I'm not trying to get political, but somebody's out there doing something to make.
Well, what's even more important about that, John, is that Apple, all the big computer companies are coming out and saying, Google, saying, come apply. You don't have to have a degree. We want somebody with some skills. You just have to be able to do something. And let's don't talk about degrees. Come on in and start working for us. You'll make a lot of money. You just have to have which is what the most important thing is skill. They can do something. Otherwise, they're just dead weight,
Yeah, Tim Cook mentioned they had hired a lot of people without necessarily a degree and put them to work, whether it was out in California or wherever they're expanding now. And that was great. People.
His name is not Tim Cook anymore because President Trump referred to him today as Tim Apple. He got his name.
Tim Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And the reason the market was down today, partly so, is over in the EU, the banks finally started lending the banks, the EU Fed, the equivalent of their Fed started lending money to banks so they could stay in business, and they downgraded all the projections for growth in the EU. And that's one of the big reasons for a lot of the downside today.
Right.
But anyway, now John, we try to make 1% a week on his. We're ahead of that. This week we're ahead so far. We didn't even make a trade today. Had a small loss on Monday. We had great profits yesterday and the day before. If you go back to the previous week, we averaged 1.6% for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Plus, that's not counting this week. 1.6%. All we're trying to make is I'm showing the difference in 1.6. Same $1,000, 1.6 over like 15 years. Normally, 1% is going to be like $2.5, $750 million. $31 million difference between 1% and 6. $31 million at the same time. Incredible stuff. And it just doesn't make any sense of what everybody in the world has to do. One gentleman wrote me an email and says, this is nothing but pure speculation. Well, back I told him no, and explained to him, and he says, what do we have in our tool bag that keeps it from being pure speculation? I explained about the toolbox. And I said, if you're a speculator, you lose 80% of the time. 80% of the time because you're going by what the weather is. Does it look good out there? It's going to be a good time to go grow coconuts or whatever. Whatever your industry you're looking at, that's speculation, and you don't know a damn thing about anything when it comes to stuff like that. You're just a pure speculator, and you're going to lose 80% of the time. So
they must make some money on it because in Vegas the house odds are just barely over 1.5–2% on like slot machines and table games. So if they can make 1.5%, put up those big multi-story buildings and all the stuff going on out there, fountains and volcanoes. Apparently, it's compounding for them, so this ought to be a way to do it.
You know what we need to come up with, guys, seriously about this? We've gone through all that money being spent on charting and all that. We need to come up with something. Now that you mentioned slot machines, come up with a little machine, looks like a computer, but it's got all this stuff in it, algorithms, all that kind of stuff. And the market opens, you just press the button. It goes and does the whole thing. It picks what you're going to sell. It does the whole thing. You don't even touch it.
That'd be like driverless trading. That'd be great.
Well, yeah, we can use that. We can use that in Marcus's self-driving car.
Yeah, self-trading game or self-trading iPhone. That's great.
Okay. Was anybody else have anything else for today? No. Go to our website, compoundstockearnings.com. Sign up for the free account report. You're going to enjoy it. And you also on that website find out everything we do, how we sign up for everything, and how all this stuff works. And remember, when you sign up for these gentlemen's services, they're doing them with real money in their own accounts. And you get the notice before they hit the buy button, before they hit the sell button. And you know exactly, you're prepared and have it in your machine, in your computer to do it right because they've already told you what to do. Okay. Does anybody have anything else?
I promise there'll be real money in my trading account tomorrow.
Okay, great. And besides that, I do those seminars with, I don't do the training. John does training, but I attend those seminars every day when he does those because they're 5 days a week. And a lot of times he drags around. He's just so damn slow. He doesn't do anything. And I'm a couple hours ahead of all you guys. And I need to go to lunch. Yeah. And if he makes a trade and we make money, I get to go to the country club. If he doesn't make any money, I have to go to this greasy hamburger place in my golf cart. And it's just disgusting. So we'll see everybody next Thursday. And everybody, go to the website, check out all this stuff. We'll see everybody later. Thank you, guys.
So long. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.